not sure what crawled up my mother-in-law's butt, but she and I got along so well before I got pregnant. She called me her daughter, came over to see me all the time, called me randomly just to talk, told me she loved me all the time, etc. But after I got pregnant, something switched in her. She stopped calling. She never said I love you back when I said it. She only came over to see my husband 9 times out of 10. It was trying to get him out of the house to go with her. She barely gives me a hello or a goodbye in passing. She even tried staying in a labor and delivery room after she was told no because her baby needs support, and clung to my husband's arm several times, trying to get him to go sit on the couch with her instead of standing by me where he was. Nurses kicked her out. Since I had my daughter a few months ago, she's come over a good 10 to 15 times and has literally only held the baby twice. She just follows my husband around everywhere and still tries to get him to leave with her to go do chores or tasks for her, changing tires, changing oil, fixing her computer, moving around her house, etc., etc., etc. Honestly, none of that bothers me nearly as much as her comments about how my daughter looks nothing like me and looks exactly like her and my husband. For a bit of context, my husband looks nothing like his mom. He is a spitting image of his father. His mom is short, blonde, and has brown eyes. He's super tall, with black hair and green eyes. You can't tell they're related at all, but she insists my daughter looks just like her and my husband, and nothing like me. She's made these comments more times than I can count, and I just give a, yeah, okay, Becky, and leave it. But yesterday, I hosted a dinner for the family and obviously invited her. She shows up with a scrapbook album with photos of her and my husband from birth to now. She was showing and telling everyone who would listen that my daughter was basically not even mine if you go off of looks. My husband spoke up a few times with the clipped, "She actually looks just like my wife," but his mom didn't acknowledge him. But then she got to my mom, and my mom, being a no BS woman, said, "Are you blind or are you just being ignorant? That girl looks just like my daughter and nothing like you." Kind of weird to me that you're desperately pushing this narrative that the baby looks like you and your son, considering your son looks nothing like you either. No one in the house said anything, but a few were chuckling. My husband also didn't say anything, but he looked more like a deer in headlights than anything. My mother-in-law then left. She texted my husband and me later, saying she would never forgive us for not defending her against my mom, making a scene and embarrassing her in front of everyone. I don't feel bad. My husband does. Am I the idiot? Edit. She has 4 kids. My husband is the youngest. He's 27. Her 2 daughters have 1 child each. Her other son has 5 kids. She takes her daughter's kids once a month. She's never made a conscious effort with her other son's kids. She doesn't act like this with her other kids at all. She acts uninterested altogether. Ages: mother-in-law is 61. My mom's 44. My husband and I are both 27. OP, here's your answer. Mother-in-law is feeling pushed out, and this situation speaks loud and clear about where she stands with your family. She seems to be trying to reassert herself as part of the family with your husband. She's doing it all the wrong ways, but this is what it sounds like. Your mother-in-law's generation has a terrible time communicating in general, and she seems to be falling directly into the path of passive aggression. However, none of this makes you the idiot. I agree. Her inner thoughts are focused on herself, that she isn't the mom anymore, and that her son now has a family unit of his own, rather than him adding OP to her family unit, where she was still the primary. She wants very badly to make herself the nucleus again. I wish people could gratefully accept natural changes. She could have chosen to accept being a grandma and this supportive, valued elder everyone is pleased to see and miss. But if she keeps going this way, she'll be the one whose name makes folks cringe and secretly feel relieved when she isn't around. My mother-in-law's doing weird stuff to her youngest child / my husband right after I got pregnant. Jesus, God, it's so freaking common, and it's super strong when the new father-to-be is the baby of the family. My grandmother was pulling this nonsense back in the 70s. Your mother's the boss. She defended her baby. She called a spade a spade. If you would have done anything, mother-in-law would have gaslit the heck out of you. So I, teen female, am named after my grandma, Nancy, my mom's mom. There's a bit of a tradition in my family to name the first grandchild of each gender after one of the grandparents of the same sex. I was the first girl. My mom wanted to follow the tradition, and Dad didn't. So I was named after Mom's mom. My dad chose my middle name, Sky. Ever since I was in kindergarten, I used the name Sky instead of Nancy. My family called me Nancy for years anyway, but eventually, everyone else would ask for Sky when they wanted me. My teachers called me Sky, my friends' parents, our neighbors, our doctor, everyone. So my family started calling me Sky too, and sometimes Nancy would slip in, but I never used it. My mom and grandma were the people most upset. Grandma because she felt like she didn't get her grandchild named after her since it was never used, and my mom because she wanted the tradition too, but also she doesn't like Sky and only said yes to it as my middle name because Dad didn't like Nancy, and she didn't want to be unfair. I've toyed with changing my name when I turn 18, but I feel like that would be a mess. Since Christmas, my mom, grandma, and some other family members on my mom's side have suggested that I use Nancy again. Grandma told me it would mean a lot to her, and she said I'm getting to an age where the name doesn't seem so bad or old. My mom told me Sky isn't a name that I should be using in my adult life, and she said Nancy will sound so much better. She also told me it's my real name, and it would be a pain to use a name that isn't my legal first name as an adult. Other family members said I should do it to make my grandma happy, or should I do it because it seems like I'm rejecting my mom, which is weird to me. My mom and grandma sat me down last Wednesday, told me it means so much to them, and pleaded with me to go by Nancy. They said I've used Sky for 11 years now, and isn't it time to grow up a little and use my real name and use the family name? My mom told me it's embarrassing because some of her friends have asked why I hate grandma or my name so bad that I use my middle name like it's my name. I told them I didn't want to be Nancy and wouldn't start using it instead of Sky. I told them I am Sky, and that might not be easy for them, but that's what I prefer, and I'm the one living with the name. I'm the person who has to introduce myself. My dad is on my side and has tried to get my mom to back off, but she's been really unhappy since Wednesday and been a little hostile since my refusal. Am I the idiot? Mom told me it's embarrassing because some of her friends have asked why I hate grandma or my name. Oh, they did not ask that. Or if they did, it was only because of your mother's prompting. Other people are simply not that invested in your family's drama. You are not the idiot. Yeah, no one asked that. Mom is playing games with this. Listen, OP, Sky's your real name on your birth certificate. It is your middle name, yes, but it's still your name. And you can go about your life and in school and get a job, and everyone can call you Sky. It would be nice if you let your grandma call you Nancy, if you really wanted to. But if they get too annoying, you can go to court and legally drop the Nancy part from your name. Not the idiot. Both my husband and I use our middle name as our first name, and it's fine. And we always know when a telemarketer's on the phone because they ask for our first name, a sure sign they've never even met us. Although I would be curious, maybe when you're bonding alone with your mom, ask her in confidence whether she ever really wanted to name you Nancy in the first place. She may be defending a tradition precisely because she was forced into it. Good luck. I'm a 30-year-old man. My fiancée, Shelly, is a 26-year-old woman. Since I met Shelly, she's been open about one of her interests, Korean music. It's not my jam, but I'm always happy to hear her talk about it. Early on in our relationship, though, I was not aware that by Korean music, she mainly meant one specific male pop star. His name is Kai. Since we began cohabiting last year, I've also learned that it's less of an interest and more of an obsession. She spends excessive time looking at his pictures, following his fan communities, and listening to his music. If I'm being perfectly honest, it's a huge turnoff for me personally, but people will like what they like. Last summer, my sister told us that she was getting married, and we were super happy for her. We immediately RSVP'd for her wedding on Friday, June 12th. However, in December, Shelly approached me and told me she couldn't attend my sister's wedding. When I asked why, she said she'd be in South Korea around that time. I figured Kai was having a performance or a fan meet and greet, but it was even worse. Shelly wanted to attend a fan-held birthday party event. Apparently his birthday is January 14th, which is today's date in South Korea. I asked if she was out of her mind, seeing as, 1, she doesn't speak Korean, besides some of the lyrics she memorized. 2, she doesn't have much money and lives primarily off of what I make. 3, she would prioritize some random pop star's birthday party over her fiance's sister's wedding. Shelly told me she was going and that was that. Before she left for the trip a few days ago, on my birthday, she begged me to tell my sister that she couldn't go because she was sick. I really didn't want to talk about it and just told her, okay. Well, yesterday was my sister's wedding. It was a lovely ceremony. My sister and her husband were confused about why Shelly wasn't there, and I immediately fessed up that she was in South Korea for an event. My sister was a little upset, but I told her not to let it ruin the day for her. After the wedding, my sister apparently emailed Shelly, telling her that she wished she would have been up front because she could have saved some money on her food for the event. Then Shelly emailed me, furious about my telling the truth. Was I wrong to tell her the truth, or were my actions justified here? Not the idiot. To answer the question you asked, she skipped out on your sister's wedding. She can deal with the fallout. She knows she's doing a crappy thing because she asked you to lie about her reasons for doing it. I've heard people ask the wrong question before, but this takes the cake. Why are you marrying this woman if her obsession is, as you put it, a huge turnoff? Not only this, but she takes your money to fund an expensive trip to South Korea to attend a birthday party for her celebrity obsession, who probably doesn't even know she exists. The real problem here is not that you told the truth about her reasons for skipping your sister's wedding. The real issue here is your fiancé. Break off this engagement and run. Run like the wind. Flying to South Korea to participate in a celeb's birthday party when they're not even there and maybe don't even know what's happening? Yikes on several bikes. This is an unhealthy obsession right there. On top of this, your sister has a point. It was really bad of your fiancé not to be upfront about missing the wedding and making your sister waste an invite and money on catering. This Kai obsession is a make or break for the relationship, OP. You know exactly what you're getting in for, and if you aren't 100% on board with it, you're committing to it nonetheless. She's funding this obsession with the money you earn, and money I'm guessing you'd rather go to the wedding, something else for the relationship, your own interest, or something more practical like living cost. You're the third person in the relationship of yourself, your fiancé, and her idealized image of Kai. Look, man, you're dealing with a partner who's not mature enough to be in a relationship. It'll only get worse. Yesterday, my girlfriend came over to my house and was supposed to sleep over. A little after she arrived, she told me she was cold and asked for a hoodie. Now, my clothes are in my sister's room, since almost all of our clothes look the same. Most of my sister's clothes are oversized from the male section, since that's her style, and her mom kept getting confused about what clothes are whose. So we just got a big closet for my sister's room. Her room's bigger, which is why it's in her room, and took my closet out of my room so I could have more space. I went to my sister's room and saw that the door was closed. We're not allowed to close the door unless we're changing or need quiet to study. So I knocked, but before she could answer me, my girlfriend just barged in. Luckily, my sister was just studying, but both of us were in shock. My girlfriend didn't even notice my sister and my discomfort Just opened the door and started looking for a hoodie that she'd like. My sister sarcastically told her, "Sure, you can go through my closet after barging in." My girlfriend snapped at her with a curse word or two and an "It's not just your closet." I have no idea where all of this came from. My girlfriend is usually very gentle, and this is the first time I've heard her curse. But I wasn't going to sit there while she insults my sister. I took her by the hand and dragged her out of my sister's room. I got her bag, took her out of my house, and waited with her in silence until her friend who lived close to me came to pick her up. We haven't talked since. I tried to text and call her to say sorry for overreacting and try to talk to her about why she treated my sister like that, but she hasn't answered me. I feel really bad about how I reacted, but I'm also mad about how she treated my sister. Am I the idiot? My house feels so much more spacious now that I took out all my bathrooms other than the one half bath. Your parents decided having you and your sister share a closet would be a good idea? You aren't allowed to close your bedroom doors, but you can have boyfriend/girlfriend sleepovers. There is just so much to unpack here. Yeah, to be honest, I wouldn't blame your girlfriend if this was the straw that broke the camel's back. OP's house rules are so bizarre and inconsistent that maybe she was on her last nerve with this much weirdness and ready to break up anyway. Everyone's the idiot. Your girlfriend for how she acted, barging into someone's room, helping herself, cursing at your sister, etc. Your part is how you reacted. Next time with your next girlfriend, use your big boy words. Tell her she was wrong, why she cannot do that. Talk to her about how you expect guests in your place to act, how families to be treated, etc. And of course, if you have to, then tell her that the night is over. Just grabbing her stuff and pulling her out of the house was not how to deal with the situation. And do your own laundry and keep your clothes in your room. I, male 35, and my wife 34, have been married for 10 years and have 2 children, a preteen male and a female kindergartner. My wife is a homemaker and has always cared for the family's meals. I work in a technology company and have a very tight schedule. A month ago, my wife decided to become vegan for ethical reasons. I respected her choice, but we agreed that I and our kids wouldn't change our diet. She agreed to continue cooking meat for us, as our kids enjoy it and are not fans of vegetables or such dishes. However, 2 days ago, she told me she would no longer cook meat for us. She said she felt terrible about choosing corpses at the butcher and preparing them at home. It was a matter of principles for her and a contradiction to abstain from eating meat, but still buy and prepare it. She stated she would only make vegan meals for the entire family, and if we wanted meat, I would have to cook. I got very upset about this, as I don't have time to cook, especially with an ambitious project coming up in my company. We argued a lot about it, and she called me insensitive and ignorant. Our kids will be back from my parents' house at the end of the month, and I don't want them to go through this change with her. You are the idiot. Oh, Lordy, your kids aren't fans of vegetables? What do you, blanch them and serve them unseasoned? Cook a chicken breast when you get home. It's not a big deal. You can do crock-pot meals or takeout. You don't have to spend much time on this. Let the kids choose what they want to eat instead of making them collateral damage in the family food war. Also, can you trade a chore with her? She does what you usually do, and you start the meal prep for you and your kids. You could even just cook the meat portion of the meal. The wife is allegedly a homemaker, but does not make meals that satisfy her family. The kids are old enough to attend school, so the wife is home all day. Dude, tell your wife she can return to work and you'll stay home and cook, and that after she's done working, she can come home and cook for herself, since you'll be cooking non-vegan meals. You're not the idiot. Going vegan is a significant change of lifestyle after 10 years. You supported her with the understanding that she would still cook meat for the rest of the family. Then she breaks the agreement without even a discussion. I think she's the idiot in this situation. Unfortunately, you'll have to figure something out because I don't think she'll budge.